All right, so welcome all in this session, and here we will be discuss. First, we will discuss several topics regarding the string. Then we will discuss about date and time. Right. So in between string, I'm creating so many code lines so that we can write the basic functions here. Right. So what happened in we have already seen various data types of in pandas in Python, and like suppose we have integer data set type, we have float data set type, we have a string character. So string is also used for various purposes, like suppose we have print, we have f is equal to 5, which is the first any random integer number, and I'm trying to print this number on the screen, right? So this will print the entire value over here, and then I'm going to change this value with some character, but this time not going to use character, rather I'll use string here. So this is a string, like ABC will print on the screen because I have assigned this ABC. If you are going to cross check the string value, you will find the string str type f, right? Here we have str value, right? We can go for the concatenation. There is a term called concatenation in the string. What is it? Suppose we have already defined a string value, which is, let's say, tech-lang, right? So inside this string, I want to convert this str function, then 123. What is this? This is the type conversion, right? Previously, this 123 was belonging to integer data type, but by wrapping this str function, we have converted this str into this 123 into str, right? And I'm going to print this number. It's showing tech-lang 123. But if you won't convert this str here, if I'm going to copy this number and paste it here and just remove str from this part and just try to run, can you see? Can only concatenate a string with the string only, a string to str, a string, right? Which means you can concatenate or add to a string by addition sign, but first you will have to convert using str only. It hardly matters. In case it is the another string, let's say instead of str I'm having this hello, right? Tech-lang hello. So I'm going to print that number. It will successfully concatenate. But if you are having integer or any float value, then it's not going to concatenate until unless you have not converted into str function, using str function, right? Now, can I use the function along with the string? Yes. So I'm having some function. Name of my function is some function. I'm going to define it here. And then I'm going to create this global f, which we have already defined here. Then f is just consider declaration. Here we have declaration of f, and then we are going to run this function, which is the definition of my function, right? Now I'm going to call this function, and finally I'm going to print f, right? So if I print some declaration, you will find this declaration is printing out on the screen. This is going to print f, but can you see this print f is somewhere abc, but it is now global f, means whenever you will change the value of f, it will change the previous value also. Let's say I'm having this f, I'm going to change this function. Let's say I'm going to change this by Delhi, and let me run this code here. Can you see? Still it's calling this function because inside the global we have not changed this declaration value, right? This is the part, this is the keyword of declaration, like how a string is concatenating or behaving with the global function, right? We are changing the global variable within the function itself, right? So can I write this Delhi inside the function? Let me write this Delhi here and then run this function, then call it. Can you see? Now it's showing Delhi because we have converted inside the function only, right? So it will ask the function and it will change the respective value, right? Now we can play more about the string, how we can add the values. Suppose we have another function. First function is called function 2, and inside the function we have two arguments, argument 1 and argument 2. So along with this argument, I'm going to print this value. Within the value, I'm going to call argument 1, and then I'm going to call I am data scientist, right? So this is my message, right? Then I'm going to pass this argument 2. This is the second argument, right? Then I'm going to create another function, namely cube. So this will take another keyword, another argument x, and I'll return this, the cube value of this value, x asterisk x asterisk x. So here we have return 3 times, we have return value, right? Now I'm going to call the function 2 along with the two arguments, right? Let's say, what are the arguments here? Let's say 10 comma 20 are the two arguments, and I'm going to print these two, the same function within the another parameter. Let's say I'm having 40 comma 60, right? So this will just print my value. So this is cube of 3, right? So can you see, it's first function 2 passing 10 comma 20. 10 is the argument 1. In place of argument 2 we have 20 in the first pass, first calling function. In the second calling function, as argument 1 we have 40 value. As far as argument 2 is concerned, we have 60, and we are having message 40 I am data scientist 60. Then we have none because we are not passing any value, and then print cube because the cube of 3 is 27. So here we have 27 number out of it, right? Then we can go for multiple values also, multiple terms also, right? Suppose we are going to print this value, print this str. Let's say this is the str, and then multiple times 4. So here you can see it's a printing 4 times, right? If I'll give space here, so it's printing 4 times. So this string is nothing, not the mathematical background, but multiple times I am printing this value here, right? This is going to print multiple times for my value, right? But if you are going to print some true value, let's say I'm going to check some alphabet is existing in my entire string. Let's say this is Teklang data value, right? This is my string, and I want to check whether this value is spread. This character is inside this entire big string value is not. Here we have character, here we have entire string. So let me run this output. So you will find here we have true, which means we are having this character inside this big string value. Suppose I give any value which is not available in my big string, what will be value? It will print false in that case, right? So here we have that condition, that cross check value also, right? So let me run, let's say AR is equal to AR, right? So it will give true because both these strings are true, right? Both these strings are same. But when we are trying to print this SACH, which is the another string and need to compare with another value. So let me give, this is the false value because SSCH is not greater than a small SSCH, right? It is just taking the this one ASCII value of this number, right? Then we can not say that this value is greater than this value. Okay, so what is ASCII value here? Let me go for this ASCII table. So here you will find images, and inside the images, let me go for this images, open in new tab. Here you can see capital A. Where is my capital A? Capital A is 41, right? And small a is 61. Can you see 41 value is lesser than 61? Small a, small caps lock value 61 is bigger than 41, which this is the reason it's showing. Let's say I'm going to print, instead of SA, let me print capital A to compare capital A with a small a. So it's showing false. But if you reverse the order, condition value, comparative value, so you will getting true. Why? Because small a is having decimal value 97 and decimal value of this capital A is 65, respective decimal A. The another way, you don't need to keep remember these 65 to 90, which is the range for caps lock A to caps lock G. Similarly, for 97 till 122, you don't have to remember, you don't have to keep remember the respective decimal for this. We have particular function of this. Let's say I am going to print ORD and this is just printed. Can you see the order of order of A is, or order number of A is giving 65, which is the way we just find decimal value for my respective alphabet. Can you see A is having 65 decimal value in my ASCII table, American Standard Code for Interchange Values, right? So here we have information interchange. So for this value we have, let's say you want to check another value. Let's say I want to check for small a, right? So I'm having this function, inbuilt function in Python. So 97 is the respective ASCII decimal value in the chart. Can you see 97 is again showing in front of small a, right? So this is the way we can go for this value, right? Now we can go for another value. Let's say I'm having this string, Sachin is my name, or I'm just printing Tech Lang is my name, right? So I just printed this number. I just assigned this entire string to S, and then I tried to print this S with the split function. So this split function is very much important. You can see it's separating all the different words. Teklang is a word, is the word, my is a single word, name is a bird word. So we are separating each word in as the elements of my list. So here you can see the split is on the basis of space. Now I'm going to change this string and let me have one another pattern here. Let's say instead of this value I'm having $sign in between here, and it between name also, in between my also, and I just assign this $name, and again going to split these entire string on the basis of $. So let me see what would be the element of my this one list. Here you can see before the $sign we have first element, post $sign including the spaces we have second alphabet, post this $sign and the third $sign we have space and M, and then YNA is again the fourth alphabet, and after the last $ME is represented by the last element of my list, which means it's splitting the entire string on the basis of given symbol. So this is how you can you can this one write this number, or you can split the entire values, right? So let me write some value here. Let me assign this string. Let me alias the list 1 is equal to this list, and let me list 1 dot join. Okay, list 1 join list 1. Okay, so there is some function which works reciprocally, means in the opposite direction. It just join all the elements in a single string. I'll recall that function name, how it works, but it's 100% sure this is a join function where we join all these element, all these key terms in a single string value. So this is how we complete the entire string pattern. Okay. Okay, so in the next module we are going to discuss date and time function. So from date time I'm going to import some basic library here. So for this I'm going to import this date function. The second part we have, from the date time I'm going to import this time value, time module, right? From the date time itself I'm going to import another important term, which is date time, and make sure we have all the different modules, all the different functions, not the same, right? Now I'm going to create one function here, which is the main itself, and within the main I'm going to assign some value. Like, so what is here? Here we are going to assign today is equal to date dot today, right? Here we have date dot today. So this is the another function we are going to fetch from the date method. You can see here which we just imported there. Then date dot today will extract some value, and finally we are going to print this entire value, like today date is, and let me print this today function, today variable, which we have just date dot today we have just assigned, right? So let me call this function, and how to write how to call this function, because we have main here. So we will have to write if name underscore underscore equal to underscore underscore. This is the fundamental method when we call any main function using this skeleton, and then finally we will call main object here. Here you can see it's a printing your system date. So the interview may ask, in IT company में आपसे पूछा जा सकता है, how would you print your system date? You can see my system date is 24th of July 2023. It's a printing 2023-07-24 in the reverse order. It hardly matters. We will see how we can change in a couple of minutes, how we can change the format of this date, system date. But as of now we can see we are successfully printing our system date inside the Python Jupyter. Now we are going to add some another module along with this system date. I'm interested to print date components. So what I'll do, I'll write date components here. So what are the other date components? Not only date dot today itself, we have date dot day, which is the first value. We have already encapsulated date today dot month. We have also date dot year, today dot year, right? And then we are going to run this code, and finally call again. We are going to call this function. Can you see it's a printing today dot day. What is the day here? 24 is the day, right? What is the month? Today dot month is 7. It's printing here. What is the today dot year? It is 2023. It's a printing 2023 at last, right? If you want to print in a separate line, you can print copy and just print, hit enter, paste. So remove the second two, just remove it here, remove the first and third one, right? Now remove the first one, right? And run the code again, and call the main function again. So here you can see date components 24, which is the day of my system. Then I'm having month of my system, then year of my system. Separately I can use it here, right? Now I can go for another integer part, mathematical value. Let's say today dot day. So what is the day here? Day is something, date 24. So after 2 days, what will be the date value? So I'm going to add 2 value here. So let me print this t also along with my main value. So let me run this function again and call the main value again. Here you can see after 24, after 2 days. So today is 24. So after 2 days, there would be 26. So I am printing 26 here, right? So you can see I'm just printing here after 2 days. What would be the day here, right? So you can see it's just printing after 2 days, date will be 26. So system is automatically calculating number of days, or you can give from the keywords. That keyword value will add up in your date value and will give after this 10 days or after 15 days what would be the date in your month, right? Now let's see what other functions do we have in the datetime module. So we have today is equal to datetime dot time, and inside the date time dot now we have some magical output. So let me print this today variable. Here you can see not only printing this entire value, so printing the time. So what's here? 22:32. Here you can see 22:32, like 10:32, 10:32, and it's a second, 41 second point oh, like so precisely it's printing my date of my time of my system, right? It's a clock, it's extracting clock for this. So from date time I'm going to import this date time, right? I'm going to create this main function again, and let's see what will be the now here. So now I'll get date time dot now, right? So this is again magical function inside the datetime module, and I'm going to print this now variable, and this will be now dot str f time. So this will be a string of function time. So inside this function I can print any message, current year is, and let me print this in the format of y, right? So I'm going to print this number, right? Call this function, and with how to call again, if underscore name is equal to underscore main. So you can see the current year is 2023. So this is the way we can print the current year. What if you want to print this with the small y? There is a slightly change here. So let me run this small y with the small y and call this main function again, right? So you can see this is printing current year 23, which means last two number only. So my year will consist last 2 year, and it will give the last 2 year. If your requirement system requirement or your project required last year only, so you will get the that value, that term. Similarly, we have another parameters, another identifier also. Let's say small a, small d, small b, capital Y. So let's see what are these. So let me run this main function, print this value, and here we have Monday. So what is a? A is like day. What is the weekday? So today is Monday, it's printing Monday. So percentage d, what is percentage d? Percentage d is date. What is date today? Today is 24th. So what is percentage b? Percentage b is month. So we have July. So what is percentage y? We have already seen, this is complete year. So let me copy this entire module and paste it here, and let me caps lock, convert into the caps lock D, and see what would be the magic when we will convert these alphabets. So cut C, cut V. So let me run this code first, and then we are calling this main again. You can see this Monday. So capital A means we not only the small like short form of weekday, we will get entire spelling of my weekday, Monday, right? When we need double percentage caps lock D means we have entire date in this format, 724, which is most widely used in India, right? So 724/23. When we have small b, so this July is not this capital, but we will have small like first 3 letter of my month, right? Then percentage, already we have seen, this is the last 2 words of my values here, right? So let me check, do we have any question? Other functions. So what are another functions? We can check it out. So let me see, we have some operations value. Let's say time delta. So time delta is what we have, days is equal to 365. We have hours is equal to 5, minutes is equal to 1, right? Then we have now, and then string dot now, and time delta is equal to days. So let's see what will be the output here. So okay, so we need to import this time data also. So let me import this from the datetime module, run this code, and now finally I'm going to run this code. Here you can see this 22, this now, so this printing now value of my system. But after 365 days, just after 1 year exactly, what would be the date and time and month? So here you can see, here we will have 2024 July 23, and the time will be 22, 38, 39, and the second will be same. This is how you can round the entire block, and you can go for the question and the sharing part on this thought, how you can solve the competitive examination. Like they ask like today is the Monday, and what will be the day after 90 days in the same year, right? So they may ask, you can solve such kind of competitive examination a question in using this date time or time delta function, right? Now suppose I am having another value part of it. So I am having, let's say this is time delta, days is equal to 365, hours 5, minute 5 1, and done. Then we are going to run this code. Here you can see after 365 days we have these much, this time, right? So 16 July, right? So days is equal to 2, and week is equal to 3, right? 3 weeks and 2 days. After 3 weeks and 2 days, what will be the date? So here you can see after 3 weeks there will be 16th of August 2023, right? Whereas we pass days is equal to 365, it's just shown the date or time after 365 days. But here we have days is equal to 2 means weeks, 3 weeks, 2 days, right? So let's see what other we can go for this. We can see date time dot now minus date delta week is equal to 1. So weeks is equal to 1 means we are seeking after 1 week what will be the time, and we have this time. So here you can see 1 week ago it was Monday, July 17, 23, right? So time delta week is equal to 1 means we have 1 week ahead, right? Then we are subtracting the current time from this value. So there we will have s, and t dot t is going to extract a string of time is extracting this value. So capital A is for Monday, B is for July, D is for date, Y is for year. It's going to print 1 week ago it was this value, right? So time delta is what? Time delta is just creating the difference between this value, right? Now let me print again. Now is equal to date dot today. So we are printing this one. So here you can see it's a printing 2023 724. This is the current date of my system, right? So this is how you can print the entire value, entire string what we have studied as of now. So let me recap from the very first time, very starting. So in the session 4 we started from the string, we have integer format, also we have ABC, right? So that is the format of string. So we just can check the cross check the type of this variable, which is a string, and then finally we just concatenate this text-long with str123. This is the str123 and concatenate with the text-long. We are not compelled to typecast as we have done here. When we have a string data type with the same data type, we don't need to wrap it around str. So finally we have text-long plus hello. We are going to call this function with the global value, and once this global value is changed, we are going to get that effect on the screen. We have some function that is changing my value. Apart from this, we can have two arguments, 1 and argument 2. We are going to concatenate this one, and then we are going to call these two q function also. Finally we are printing as many as possible combinations for my string, and then we are going to cross check whether this character is available in my string or not. Then we can go ahead with the comparison part other. So this is with respect to ASCII number, we have seen this table as well. So on the basis of ASCII, because capital A is coming first, 65, this value is lower. The small a is coming after in this table, so the value is 97. So 97 is higher than 65. On the basis of condition, it's going to give this comparative value, not the basic like capital A is greater than small a. No, it's not that true. That condition is not true. It's showing the respective decimal value inside the ASCII table, which is the universal truth for everyone. You can shift out this table anywhere. How to get the output? Using ORD function, you can check any other any string or any character value. Let's say I want to check the ASCII value for percentage. Here you can see it's giving 37. So let me go for 37. Can you see 37? It's respective percentage. This value is percentage here, right? Now we are moving towards the more split function converted into the list, though there is no relation between the string and list, but using this split function we have established the dialog between the split function between the string and the list elements, right? And then we can split by any particular spatial character also, and then we are moved to the date and time module, which is most widely used when we are working on the compiling time, or for calculating the time of any software operations, or how much time is your module is taking, right? how you are printing your system date, how we have that this delta operations, right? So this is all about the main and the percentage. This identifiers is very much important. So it is your choice, like you want to print the entire full name of your year, or your month, or your week. So you will have to choose the identifier accordingly. So these are the importance of this time delta when we need some, like now plus time delta. So here we have time delta means we have 365 and then now plus post. If you use this now plus this one, so it will give another time delta. If you will use this now minus time delta week, means it's just showing previous value, right? So previous time of this value. So this is the significant value of this time delta function, where we have different arguments like days, weeks. So weeks means 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ahead. Days means uh, x number of days ahead, or x number of days before you want to print that date, right? So this is used for that parameter. You cannot change that values. So it is inbuilt function, and you need to specify that integer value only. That's it. The days and weeks will be fixed only. Now we have now that date, that's printing the system date 24 July 2023. That's my system date, right? This is all about date and time. And thank you all